I'm going to talk about two things. One, the USNG support that is in GISsurfer, and then I'm going to show you how to surf data on a GIS server, make a map that will display some GIS layers with the USNG grid. Okay, map talk. GISsurfer has two different interfaces, and what you're seeing on your screen is I'm simulating the mobile interface on my desktop. I wanted to show you how to do a right click on a mobile device. And the reason you might want to do that is you can use this feature to get the USNG coordinate for any spot on the map you see on your cell phone. On a mobile device, to do a simulated right click, you tap the bracket on the left, you get a crosshair you can drag. You drag that crosshair to any spot on the map. You tap the crosshair and you see the USNG coordinate for the spot that you clicked right there, bam. So that is how to get the USNG coordinate for any spot on a cell phone or tablet. And I'm going to close that. I tap the bracket on the left side of the screen again. The crosshair goes away. I'm going to turn the grid on by clicking the menu button and scrolling down and clicking on the UTM USNG line and scrolling down on that and turning the USNG grid on. And to turn the Geo Location feature on, click Menu and click on My Location. I'm going to allow that, and the red geolocation symbol appears, and I'm showing you that because if you tap it, you see the USNG grid for where you tapped. Close that. If the map is sent to use lat long and you tap the geolocation symbol, you would see lat long. So that's just what I wanted to show about the mobile interface. And I changed my screen. I'm going to go back to the outline. And what you should see on number 4 is how to make a GISsurfer map link that will open with the grid already turned on. And that's done with the center parameter in the map link, where you just put a USNG grid right there. Use an underline instead of a space. And if we open up that map link, I have that open in a different tab. This is going to open for Bayfield County, Wisconsin, in that area that we were talking about a little bit. You should now see a full screen GISsurfer map. And the right click, I'm not going to show that. That works the same way, but I'm going to show menu search. We can search on a USNG grid, of course. And so if I'm going to tap one in here. Oops. 864, something like that. So we just search on that. By default, the zoom level will be 15. We can zoom in a couple more ticks here. And if we zoom in one more tick, that base map does not display at the zoom level that we're at. So I'll go over to an aerial view. And when you search on a USNG coordinate, the center of the map will wind up at the center of the grid square that you searched on. I know some other software will center at the lower left corner when you search, but I searched on 668, 864, and the map is centered at that spot. And now if we wanted to get a map link that would replicate the map we have on our screen, it's Menu, Link to this map. The map link that is displayed will replicate the map on your screen. And note that the center parameter does point to that USNG spot. And of course, we can click on the menu button if we wanted to change the grid, and go over to UTM, go back to lat long, and then the lower left corner of the screen, the cursor and center coordinates are back to lat long. Oops. And they're back to grid now. So those are, that's a quick rundown of some of the USNG features that are built in. And now I want to talk about, let's surf a GIS server and make a map. And so to do that, you need the address of a server. And the outline is back on your screen now. Under number 9, there's a link to a PDF file that I curate. And that has addresses for over 3,500 government ArcGIS servers from the local level up to the federal. My code scans that list each week, and any bad links are either fixed or flagged. And if you open up that PDF file and you look for Bayfield County, Wisconsin, you'll see the server address shown on number 10 in the outline. And if we open up that server address, we see a web page that is the top of the table of contents for that server. An ArcGIS server has a table of contents. It's just a series of web pages. You could drill down on this, hunt for stuff. But let's say we wanted to look at this server for data about trails. Well, we have no idea where it might be, so we're going to do a trick. We're going to do a Google Advanced Search. And the way to do that is up at the top of the screen. I searched on the word trails, and then the word site with a colon, and then the address for that server. And the result of that search should be on your screen. The first hit says layers, trails, silent sports. I'm going to click on that. And here's another web page that the server table of contents has. We're too deep in the table of contents. Look up near the top of your screen, and there's a line in red. And those are links. We're going to go up one step in the table of contents by clicking on the map server page. Now, this is the page we want, because there's a big bold heading at the top of the page that says map server. And there's a bunch of layers that are numbered starting at 0. So I'm going to go back up to the top of the browser. I'm going to copy the address for that page. I'm going to, let's see, I'll go back here. I'm going to reload my map for Bayfield. Okay. Now, to surf a server, I'm going to click on the base map button, look under the overlay column, click on Add GIS Overlays, paste in the server address, and I'm going to click Send Request to GIS Server. A sidebar opens that has the layers from that page. And so I'm going to add the layer snowmobile trails. You should see some yellow trails appear on the map. I'm going to add another layer that's points of interest 1. And you should see some campgrounds and symbols and such on the map. I'm going to close the sidebar. I'm going to click on the base map button again and look under the overlay column, and you'll see the 2 layers we added to the map. A layer with a number in front is on. Both those layers are on. The highest numbered layer is on top and can be clicked. So, okay. So I'm going to click on what looks like a campground symbol right there. And now I'm looking at a display of all of the attribute data that GIS server has for the thing that I clicked. And this attribute data is really good because it includes a link that leads to more information. But what I really want to do is make a map that has a snowmobile trail layer on top. So I'm going to go back, click the base map button again, go down to the overlay column where the snowmobile trails are. I'm going to turn it off. Those trails disappear from the map. There's no number in front of that layer. It's not on. Now I'm going to click snowmobile trails again. Whoa, and now that layer is number 2, which means it's the highest numbered layer on the map and can be clicked. Great. So if I click on a snowmobile trail, I get a list of attributes. It's the Lenawee Trail. Oh, okay, fine. So now what I want to do is I want to make a link that will replicate the map with the GIS layers with the grid. Menu, link to this map, copy, copy, new browser tab, paste, open sesame. There's our map, there's our grid, there's our GIS stuff. Notice that you don't need to know a single solitary thing about GIS to make a map like this. And back to the outline to close out. The link that we just made is under number 14 here. The inline parameter has the definition of the 2 layers we added to the map. The 2 vertical lines that you see in that long link, they separate the first layer definition from the second line. And for anybody that would like to know more about GISsurfer, there is a home page. And I'd recommend for people that are kind of starting and want to kind of get a feel for what it's all about to click on the menu button, go to the help page, scroll down just a little bit, and read the overview. It will repeat, some of the things I went through quickly here, and it's just a good way to start out. And that concludes the presentation. Open for questions.
So Joseph, I just sent the link to a personal chat to you for the Minnesota Maps service that I was just talking about.
That caught my eye when you were saying that. I said, hey, I can put that on there.
Yeah, I just sent you the URL in the chat.
Do it this way. Okay, now close this, go to Minnesota. How's that?
Yep, and you click on it, click on one of the boxes.
Okay, clicking on a box.
Should get a pop-up, right?
It came right up. So maybe GISsurfer's ability to display GIS layers, trail layers with the grid might be something that can help people that are trying to understand what USNG might be able to do for them, because they can have something visual to look at with their data.
Okay, very nice, Joseph. Does anybody have any more questions for him? I see the crowd's going wild. There's lots of clapping happening right now. Okay, thank you very much.